大家好，这里是星星不见月亮。
I'm Sally, and I used to live in Malaysia, and I talk a lot about culture, about education, and of course, other fun stuff. And today we're gonna talk about something super exciting, and I'm super curious myself, which is about the perspective of Chinese people on Chinese overseas. Right, super interesting. And there will be two parts of the video. The first part, we're gonna talk about the Chinese Indonesians, and then the second one, we're gonna talk about Chinese Malaysians. So stay tuned until the very, very end. And today, we've got here in the house my university friend from China.
Hi everyone, I'm actually Sally's friend. I'm called Elena. I'm now studying in Australia, but I was taking my undergraduate in Malaysia, which we just met each other in Malaysia.
Is there anything that you know about Chinese Indonesians?
Yeah, Rich Brand.
Oh, you know him. All right. Okay.
I think he is kind of like the one that I feel like, oh my god, like he's from Indonesia. I didn't realize that before.
Wow, that's good, you guys. Rich Brian is making Indonesia more popular.
Yeah.
But prior to that, right? Let's say before you came to Malaysia, did you have any, let's say, Chinese Indonesian friends perhaps, or do you know anything about Chinese Indonesians?
Actually, no.
Yeah, it's not surprising for us, but do you know the most Chinese overseas outside of China is actually from Indonesia, in Indonesia? Yeah. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, really.
Anyone like Malaysia.
I know.
Anyway, is it weird to see that I'm Chinese? I look super Chinese, right? What do you think?
First impression when I saw you, I can see you're actually maybe you're Malaysian Chinese, but after you just speak a word, I can see okay, you're not from China.
I see. How? Why? Which part? Like the accent, right?
I think the first will be the accent, and then the second one would be you're much more confident than a lot of Chinese girl that I met, because when they I would give an example. If
Okay.
I would like to take a selfie, I would use just some of the filters to make me slim, to be like a Japanese or a Korean girl like that.
Yep.
I saw you once we were taking a photo, and then you're just smile, just really confident. I was like, okay, so you're definitely not from China. I can tell that.
Oh, that's interesting. I do know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Chinese people like that kind of filters, huh? Oh, interesting.
I think especially East Asian countries Japanese, Korean, Chinese girl, they will to use some
Kawaii.
filters. So do I. Me too. Yeah.
I didn't know that you can distinguish this kind of thing from that experience.
I can
Right
tell
now.
that your accent is totally not like you have been educated in China. I would like to say that some of the impressions of Chinese Indonesians that I've actually ever thought about. I think in overseas country like Malaysia and Indonesia, I feel like if your accent is more American accent or a British accent, I mean it's not a typical a East Asian countries that English accent. I can tell that your family could be a upper second above. I think at least you have been just quite being well educated. This is actually also the first impression that I've got when we just met in the campaign. I can see your accent is really good, and also when you speak your perspectives, it's really logic, and I can tell you have definitely been well educated. You 20 years, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh my god, that's such a high compliment coming from you. Thank you. If you want me to stereotype, your English is so much more high up there compared to the rest of the Chinese that I met. Honestly speaking, I'm not saying Chinese people don't speak English or something. No, but they have the accent, right? It's very super thick. I can tell straight away, oh, this person's from China. But your accent, I can tell you're from China, but it's I could tell that you're also someone that knows English a lot more compared to the rest. Am I right?
Thank you.
Did you know that most Chinese Indonesians don't speak Chinese or Mandarin well? Did you expect it? Let's say when you first met me.
I can tell that yes, because I've actually learned a little bit history of Indonesia. I mean because some of the crisis, right? Just after Suharto or Sukarno,
Suharto.
yeah. So it's about anti-communism or anti-Chinese. I think yeah, it's just something like that. So after that, maybe Chinese people, they just don't want their children or just other siblings to speak Mandarin anymore. So that's why I was thinking maybe our generation Chinese Indonesian, they just seldom speaking Mandarin. I just can't understand that.
Yep. Oh, actually, is the history famous in your country or it's just you?
I don't think so. I think it's just a limit.
Oh, okay, you're just more educated. Right. Yeah, but it's very sensitive, you guys, like this kind of topic. So I'm not gonna talk further. If you want to know more info about the 98, like what happened to like the history and something like that, just feel free to Google it. There are like a lot of info, okay, on Google.
Yeah.
Did you know that most of Chinese Indonesians actually Indonesianize their surnames? Like we do have our Chinese surnames, right? Like the U, like all the Chinese surnames that we have from our like parents, like grandparents, basically from our ancestors, we kind of Indonesianized it to become to sound Indonesian. Like, have you heard about it?
No. I was thinking like because when I was in Malaysian Chinese, they told me that their surname is similar to like just China Chinese one.
Yeah.
So I don't realize like Indonesian Chinese the surname would be a little bit like Indonesianized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit of that. In Malaysia, right, their names sometimes would have the English one at the beginning and then Chinese surname and then the Chinese name, right? It's like normal Chinese name, right? So maybe, I don't know, like Lo Keshin or like something, I don't know. It's like, straight away that it's Chinese, right? Just based on the name.
Yeah.
Actually, my surname is Wu. So that translates to my dad's dialect, which is Teochew, and it becomes Go. But in Indonesia, a lot of people that has the same surname as I do, which is Go, they like to make it like Gunawan.
Oh,
so it's like, let's say Sally Gunawan. Oh, that's not my name, yeah, guys. Yeah, a lot of people, maybe, I don't know, Elina Gunawan. Perhaps this person is Chinese Indonesian. Is there anything that you're curious about Chinese Indonesians? Maybe you want to ask me something?
I have to say that most of the Chinese, like Malaysian Chinese, somehow really talented in do business because we have a saying, especially their Hokkien or Canton, right? Actually we had a saying. 3分靠注定, 7分靠打拼. Do you know that? You have to like work hard around like 70% and then the rest of them you just like
it's like up to the universe, right?
Up to the gods, something like that.
Yeah.
I was actually like viewed a web page which is like the top 10 just billionaire in Malaysia. Most of them are actually like Malaysian Chinese. So I was actually really curious about Indonesian Chinese. Are they like really just got talent in just doing business as well?
This is a very long answer, okay, because there is no certain exact answer to this, but I would say because we hold similar principle, which is like, we have to work hard, and if we have a dream, like go and get it. But of course, let's say if that doesn't come true, it means that it's like the God destined for you already. But it doesn't mean that you have to just let it be, let it flow. Oh, God already has the plan for you. But yes, you have to work hard as well as a person to make that plan come true. It's something like that. I got that saying also from my parents, although like not from the Mandarin version, but I would say most Chinese also have that kind of principle here.
But I can't generalize also, you guys, because there are a lot of like not so well off Chinese as well over here. But it's just, if you ask me, let's say the top 10 people, like the richest people in the country, I would say like there are actually a lot of Chinese over there. Yeah.
I think I've got like the same. Yeah.
And then I think it's also partly because last time we used to be super poor, like most Chinese that came to like, of course, overseas, like they have nothing, right? Basically immigrants, like they have no family, they have nothing, and then they're poor. So I think they hold money very tightly as well. And then they try to think of how to make more money and then to sustain for the family, right? Rather than just like spending it all. Yeah. So I think that's kind of like the principle that they have, I think, in general.
You guys, if you have different principle, I mean, now it's the different era already. Like, I think most of the children right now, they have different thinking. So if you have different thinking, it's fine. We all have different thinking, so it's fine. Just comment down below, but please be respectful.
And may I ask that Chinese to Indonesian, so you guys will just like mix with your like Indonesians or like Javanese or like something like it?
Okay, interesting question. Because I think you see this from the perspective of Malaysia, since we both lived in Malaysia before. I mean, it's hard to say because it's based on the individual, right? But since we don't have vernacular school over here, like the Chinese school or like Indian school and stuff like that, we don't have that. So most of the time people just mix together. When it comes to like mingling with the rest, I would say we just mix because the races here actually are a lot. Not only Japanese. We have like super like a lot. Let me tell you. We have Japanese, we have Sundanese, we have Bataknese, we have Manadonese, we have like, because Indonesia is quite big and then super diverse. So and Chinese just becomes part of the race, you know. Can you imagine? Yep. So that's why actually, can I say this? Like growing up, I was kind of confused also about myself, like by my own identity, I would say. Because okay, growing up, I know like Chinese, and then we kind of have the tradition also, like let's say we celebrate Chinese New Year. But I was just a little bit confused, like I'm not Chinese, but I am, you know. So yeah, I was just confused. And then my parents used to ask me to, they didn't ask, they just enrolled me to like Mandarin courses. And then I was like, Mom, I don't want to do this. It's like Chinese is so hard. Like I have no motivation at the time. Really, I was like, what is it for? I don't use it. I don't speak this to my friends. Why do I have to learn this? Imagine I was in primary school, you know. And then that's why the basic ones I can understand. I don't know about other Chinese Indonesians, but maybe it was just me.
Okay guys, I think that's it for part 1.